Hi, I'm Bonnie Browning with the American Quilter Society, and today I get to interview our best of show here at AQS QuiltWeek in Des Moines, Iowa. Pat Delaney, you're no stranger to working with us, are you?
Not really, Bonnie.
Pat's from Abington, Massachusetts, and what a gorgeous quilt. I know people have a lot of questions about it. You've used a ton of different fabrics. You've used many different quilting designs. Tell us what the inspiration was for doing this quilt.
Okay, this quilt had a real story, where some of my quilts are just, I like the pattern, but this one had a story. We had traveled to Europe and we went to the market in Barcelona, and there was one booth that sold only eggs, whole booth, only eggs, and they were all different colors. And so these are the colors. There were grays and blues and speckled and tans and whites. And then we also the same day went to the Gaudi Park, and the white mosaic ceiling, they told us, had 63 shades of white tiles. It appeared white, but they were blue. So there's every color in here: green, purple, blue, and but I call it my white quilt. And there are as many different color threads on here as the colors. It's really hard to find those light colors when you're shopping for fabrics.
So did you have to collect for a while before you had enough?
I kept collecting. In fact, I'm still buying fabric for the quilt. The quilt's done, but I'm still buying those light fabrics. And I just had a lot of fun with just thinking of different stitches, and it's kind of inspiring some of my classes that I do. I call it bar quilting. The little bars, and each one has a different design. They basically go around in a circular motion, but because the bars are all different sizes, the quilting looks different in each one.
And do you know what's really cool about that? Is that you don't have to match all those seams, do you?
Exactly. Boy, that was a serendipity. Well, the strips are all different sizes, and the name of the quilt is Barcelona Crow's Nest. And people think it looks like a nest, that was the play on words, but I had actually taken a class with Nancy Crow, and she didn't allow us to use rulers. So we had to just free cut our strips, which is what I started doing. And so they're all different sizes, and then the seams didn't have to match. So
this is a pretty large quilt too.
It is.
What is the size?
I think it's 90 by 90.
So it's a big quilt. Now, you did something really fun on the borders of this quilt.
I did. I have seen Sharon Chambers quilts with the looped edge, and I just love them. And so I decided on this one I would do that. It's a double layer of loops. The back ones are white. These are all white triangles. And then the front ones are all the colors of the other colors in the quilt. And it's just...
and this border too is really pretty. I like how you kind of made this a continued thing to tie it together, and then you repeated a lot of your different quilting
Well, that's because it didn't fit.
There's a method
well,
to your madness.
yes, it was one of those quilts that, you know, the strips didn't have to match. And so for me, who's been a pretty traditional quilter, this was wild and crazy. But there's also some hand-couched pearl cotton on here. I don't know if you can pick it up. It's very
pale.
Right here
along the edge we can see that, can't we?
Yeah, there's a peach one here and one here. And so just to try to make it a little more interesting.
Okay, is there anything that you'd like to tell us about entering our AQS shows?
Oh, these shows are just the best, and I have entered a number of them, and I'm beginning to teach in some of them, and I just find, you know, that it's a lot of fun. The first time I've been to Iowa, so I'm enjoying this. I've been up since 2:30 this morning, but you know, it's always such a high caliber of quilts that you see, and so much quality and so much inspiration that I go home and my head's ready to explode.
Well, and especially, you know, we have 1,673 other quilts in this show this year. That's the largest quilt show AQS has ever hung. So we have about 200 quilts in the contest, and this is the best of the contest quilts.
Well, I was thrilled, and this time I knew when I got the call.
It's always a surprise when we call the winners, because they don't know, of course, until they get that call. But it is always a surprise, isn't it?
Oh,
when you
it's a
get the
shock,
call,
yes,
because the
yes.
contest is really
Oh, yes.
high caliber.
Yes, you go and you look at some of the quilts and go, well, I don't know how the judges do their job. I think
Well, do you know the cream usually rises to the top? By the time we go through all the categories and then they get ready to choose the best to show, it's usually pretty apparent which one is the best to show. And today it's you.
Well,
and congratulations, Pat.
Thank you so much.
And we want you to enter our AQS contest. The deadlines are coming up for some of our shows for 2014. Just go to aqsshows.com and you can get the rules for all of next year's shows. Congratulations, Pat.
Thank you.